A very warm welcome to everybody on the stream, in the stream, and here in the room. As already impressively shown by our previous speaker, the Green Deal has several levels and layers on which we can operate and act. It is a very comprehensive goal in terms of climate politics that we need to achieve. And among the many goals that are listed within the Green Deal is, of course, the rate that was just mentioned. And just to double a rate from 1 to 2% might sound feasible at first listen or glance, if you will, but it requires a lot of work and we need to step up our game. And the second goal is to have a climate neutral European Union by 2050, which again is a very challenging task, no mean feat. And we, as the entire industry and participants in our society, must contribute. So, renovation wave. There is a necessity to modernize and renovate buildings, and there was a necessity before the Green Deal. However, looking at current developments and experiences that we made, the tasks becomes ever more pressing and relevant for all those participating in the European market. That is why it is so important that we intensively deal with those tasks and goals. The numbers are impressive. 35 million buildings in the European Union must be modernized by 2030 to only get close to achieving the set goals. Once again, this is a very great challenge, and we all have a lot of homework to do in order to master this challenge, and we need a very structured approach. A positive side effect of this modernization wave would be job creation. We could create more, up to 160,000 new jobs, which again will be difficult to guarantee looking at the lack of skilled people on the job market right now. However, overall, this could help us to achieve a very sustainable perspective on the job market. This is something that we want for the future, which is why it's very important to play that card. Saving energy in general, we have the statements by Mr. Timmermans, Fit for 55. So the entire gas consumption in the EU by 2030 needs to be reduced by 30%. Once again, this is about the goals or related to the goals of the Green Deal, namely to reduce harmful emissions by 55% compared to 1990 levels. So it is obvious something has to happen. The question is not if, but how. And we are currently trying to figure that out, what this could mean for our daily operations. Modernization is one of the keys to success, to a reduction in energy consumption. It is maybe the biggest key that we have, the biggest leverage that we can use. So why is this modernization wave so important? Once again, looking at the existing buildings, modernizing as being one of the key building blocks to achieving our goals seems obvious if you look at the number. 75% of the existing buildings in the European Union have to be modernized, definitely, in order to achieve our goals. And those renovation wave that has been brought on the agenda by the EU Commission is supposed to set us on the right path for climate neutrality, growth, and climate protection. The environment that we need to create in order to achieve this rate of modernization, to jump from 1 to 2% by 2030, to make that possible, requires a better and more promoting environment. Window replacement is always a very favored approach because it can achieve a significant and measurable effect. It is supported in terms of financing, subsidies, and of course, the funding and support in funding will be moved towards modernization. And here we have the opportunity to influence that. So those representatives those who are representatives for PVC window manufacturers have the opportunity to talk about this energy efficient way of modernizing and to distribute the information across all channels. And I think this is a very important task that we assume. And one of the building blocks of being successful in this communication strategy is this presentation here today. We drafted a very instructive leaflet that you can also find in our booth. And over 2 pages, we consolidated facts and figures from our industry, some figures that were already mentioned, some corresponding organizations that were already mentioned as well. And if you look at the topic of energy consumption and possible options to save energy by exchanging windows, then those are quite impressive numbers, as well as the fact that by 2020, more than 350,000 PVC windows were produced out of recycled material. I think those are really impressive numbers for our industry, and we can be proud, but we must not rest on our laurels. This is only the very beginning. And what we as an association set up for our next approaches, this will be shown by my colleague. Thank you very much, Mr. Herbe. The European Renovation Initiative 2022 comprises not only, as we heard, a leaflet, but also a microsite, social media communication, and media corporations. So let's start with our leaflet, our brochure that was created in cooperation with EPPA and the Quality Assurance Association Kunststoffverband, and it is also supported by Vinyl Plus. The brochure is called Make More Out of Your Home, Modernization with PVC Windows. And this is targeted at window manufacturers and also their customers, which means the end customers, private clients, contractors, or private planners. We structured the brochure as follows. We have listed 5 benefits that you can achieve via modernization with PVC windows, and I will talk about them in a minute. Before that, I would like to say European Renovation or Modernization Initiative. This brochure is available in English, Polish, French, and German, and Italian. Have you, some of you, seen this brochure? Okay, well, some of you, that's good. I mean, you can just visit our booth and then just grab your copy of the leaflet. And if you would wish for additional issues for communication with your clients, you can just approach the Association for Quality Insurance FENSTERBAU, and they can provide you with the right material, because modernization via PVC windows is one of the key building blocks, and we would like to communicate this to our end customers. We are manufacturer independent in the information that we provide here. So the 5 benefits, let's start with number 1 and 2. So more sustainability in everyday life and energy saving. So on the first pages of the brochure, we explain what the Vinyl Plus product label for PVC window profile systems is actually doing, what it is delivering. We also explain how it helps in the long life cycle, also puts the long life cycle of PVC windows, and also how we guarantee the quality of the longevity of the windows, because only those products that fulfill the very high requirements when it comes to materials, mechanic mechanisms, recyclability, and so on, only those are certified with this quality seal. And they have to prove their quality on a regular basis via audit. So within the context of energy saving and sustainability, so the 2 benefits, it is explained how recycling works and why it is worthwhile to actually do that. So you're saving energy, you're reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, and you are saving resources. So resource protection or saving mainly because we improve producing. We have material optimized product solutions. So those would be the benefits one and two. My colleague will now, Mr. Herbe will now talk about benefit three. So design obviously is something that for many years was not immediately associated with PVC windows. In the meantime, however, we have to, or we can clearly say that there was significant progress made. And nowadays, the product is something that truly provides you with some assets, also in terms of design. There's so many opportunities and possibilities to turn a PVC window in an actual design object, to modernize it in such a way that it is something that doesn't need to fear competition when it comes to design. So what you can see on the visual, huge glass fronts that provide you with a lot of light, and they are still able to hold heavy glass panes. You can develop profiles in various design directions. You can choose a very narrow option. You can choose a very edgy option. We still have rounded edges, soft rounded edges, so a lot of opportunities. And compared to other frame materials, this is definitely something that you can set yourself apart with. And I think this is particularly important for the fourth item on our agenda. We have a great degree of variety when it comes to colors and surface structures. This is truly an asset. This is truly a USP. If I just think about our company for which I'm working, I think every second profile now leaving our factory is colored. So there's a huge dynamic in the market, and this is something where have a truly strong representation on the market. Sustainable product design was also already addressed by Mr. Röber, but also Mr. Feigenbutz, and I think all system houses are really putting the emphasis on that. The way how these products are developed, manufactured, and produced, there is a high degree or a high share of recycling that is used, so it is easy to introduce them back into the recycling loop or cycle. And this is something that we can truly write out or call out as a benefit of our industry. And this is also reflected in the product design. So an additional benefit are the state funding or subsidies that you can obtain depending on the specific countries. All options are listed in the brochure with a little bit of information, and then if you can find links to the respective websites where you can find more information on the corresponding state funding depending on the respective country. So you have a direct connection to individual European governments and how they fund projects. And those financial incentives for energy saving, modernization of housing or houses is an important building block to drive the modernization way forward. And that is why it is so important to us that you, as window manufacturers, can communicate this message to your end consumers, to your customers, that they should collect information and how they can receive state support for modernizing their windows in their houses. So my benefit number 5 in the list is product solutions and services. Here, a lot of things have happened as well when it comes to PVC windows. Our old head of technical development just said white and rectangular. That's everything that's available when it comes to PVC windows. These days are now long gone. Really, PVC windows picked up on the pace. They really won the chase, particularly when it comes to safety, when it comes to ventilation, noise protection, the corresponding glassing, and the matching profile systems. A PVC window can fulfill passive house standards, and this really now works also in terms of mass production. In earlier days, each of those windows was an individualized, customized pilot product, if you will. Now this has changed, and it is also a very important aspect for system houses looking at where you need them, looking at our demographic change. So we really have exactly fitting window forms you can design the house the way you want it, and the window just goes along with it. You can go for a round shape, you can go for a bended radius, you can go for triangle shape. Everything is possible with the profile systems of today. And this means you can plan your house as you want it to. And with the right window manufacturer at your side as a strong partner, you can turn it into a very successful design object. The system houses also offer very a plethora of online tools that you can use. So as a client, you can really gather all the information that you need to make an informed decision. So when it comes to concluding the procurement for example, Windows, you have all the information that you need. You have calculators for how you can save energy. You can enter the current structure of the window, the current data, then calculate when a when an exchange of windows will amortize. So you can play with different type of glasses, with different kind of window profiles, and you can visualize all of that. And this is something we would like to highlight in our brochure. And of course, you can look for the expert manufacturers and companies. So very important to our clients here, the message. Just always check if you cannot find experts for Windows on the ground. And here we have a search engine where you can just enter your zip code and you get the expert manufacturer in your closest area. And this is something I can only very much recommend. Always seek expert consultancy. Otherwise, ex post, you will face consequences that you could have prevented if you had an expert support from the beginning on. Right. As said from at the beginning, this brochure is only one part of our communication initiative. With EPPA, we created a microsite that is integrated on the overall EPPA website, so eppa-profiles.eu/renovation. Once again, available in 4 languages, just as the EPPA site itself. So you can check it in German, English, French, and Polish. And the microsite here, you can see the start site. Looking at the menu structure, it is guided by the 5 benefits, so that this is really the key takeaway that you can have once visiting the website. So you have an interactive map, um, mapping all the funding opportunities depending on the respective countries. So you can click on your country and find out how you can obtain state funding for your modernization. You could also sort the countries by alphabet and also get all the information according to country and funding options. What's also available exclusively online are detailed information on product solutions and service tools that European manufacturers of PVC windows, PVC profile systems. I have already talked about that. And you are also presented with various app solutions that can help you with the purchasing process and finding the right product. So this all was framed in spring by a social media campaign. So we have 3 share pick series running across 2.5 to 3 months with a focus on LinkedIn and Twitter. And those share picks were also once again available in several languages so that our members in Germany, but also the national associations, for example, in Italy and France, could post them so that every or some important languages are available. So I would like to guide you through the C series that we drafted. One is the facts and figures. You already saw that at the beginning. So it's all building on the facts and figures from our modernization brochure. So we took or selected individual facts and presented them in a 7-part share pick series. Then we had a series on best practices and inspiration, so a high focus on visuals. So it was a 6-part series, and you can find inspiration on modernization of one-family houses, historic buildings, but also, for example, public buildings such as schools. We cannot see that here on the screen right now, as well as the modernization of office facilities. And so that at some point you actually know about all of the benefits, even if you are woken up at 12 o'clock at night. We collected all those benefits once again in a share pick series with the individual product solutions and services. And once again, we went even further. We also had media corporations that Mr. Herbe will now talk about. Well, thank you very much, Mr. So in Germany, we have the brochure made available in a magazine for private clients. This was a high five-digit issue, so we wanted to make sure that we get as close as possible to our target group without any loss effects, if you will. So we not only had an analogous or print approach, but also a digital approach, and we had some editorials in the print press, and we communicated all those important messages across all channels. So we tried to diversify. We had newsletters, social media communication, and we made sure that we deliver on everything that we planned before, in particular when it comes to design and shapes. And the translation was not limited to one country, but we will actually make sure that we can distribute it all across Europe for our important markets. Once again, not only in Germany, but also the UK, France, Italy, and Poland. So, and in the area B2B as well as B2C, we try to really seize all opportunities for communicating these really good benefits. Right. So I am now also giving you a conclusion and hopefully a little bit of an outlook. With Kunstke, we try to break it down to the most important points. So we have the renovation or modernization wave within the European Union. Renovation was always important as a market segment for the industry. But maybe because of the strong focus on new building construction, we didn't follow through with modernization as we should have. Now we can see that this is a development, a trend that we definitely need to follow. So again, this is our opportunity to rediscover this market segment anew with a different focus to develop solutions and also to start the corresponding measures. The situation in new construction, well, it will become more dire. We have 850,000 approved apartments that have not been built yet. The federal minister for building and construction is planning with an additional 400,000 apartments to be built that are actually affordable. I think it remains a very tense situation. We have a shortage of material and experts on the job market, and this is something we must not neglect when we discuss the situation. And we, as the building industry or sector, we are one of the largest waste producer and energy consumers, and this is also something that we could tackle by focusing on the modernization wave. Ultimately, the clear and very straightforward message is without modernization of our existing buildings, we will not achieve our climate goals, not in Germany, not in Europe. So saving energy, I believe, is that me and my microphone? Okay, that is a little bit of a weird sound here. Right, we can continue now. So energy saving is something that everybody has on their agenda right now, be it a private person, be it a business. We are talking about heating rooms for older people in winter, so dedicated areas that are heated. So energy saving is a task for all of us. It is a pan-social task, so we need to do that in our private lives, in our professional lives. And we as an association, as EPPA, want to contribute that this important message is truly arriving with and at all target groups, is disseminated across all channels. I think we have the know-how and the expertise. We have the contacts in Brussels as well as in Germany, and we can reach and support our members, market stakeholders, and market actors. I think everybody needs to understand the opportunities that come with the renovation wave, but also the tasks, and integrates those in their own respective industry, discusses them among their own association, and derives measures that we need to take in the future. That is key. The modernization wave poses a huge opportunity for all of us for more sustainability in existing buildings. And this also means for all window manufacturers and system houses, many of actors in our industry have already started to tackle the challenge and are positioning themselves accordingly. But this can only be the beginning. We need to really hammer this message home. We need to make sure that everybody understands it, and then we need to act and implement it. Communication is the key. And of course, in our daily business, we need to adjust our product portfolios, what we have on offer. And we need to focus on other important activities such as recycling.